Fantasy sports coaches, welcome back to GameDay Squad's YouTube channel. This is our women's Aussie Rules show, and I'm joined by none other than my trusty co-hosts, Jaiden and Bales. Fellas, how are we going today? And I'll be ready to talk some fantasy footy.
Hey Tom, yeah, great to be here, and one round to go. It's pretty exciting, and hopefully we can help you make a move into that top 10.
Yeah, lads, how are we? Yep, finally, good week for me. Top 10 for the first time this season for a week, so came 8th, which was fantastic. So scored 2080, that's what I ended up with, so pretty happy with all the players that played this week. Pretty much everyone did their job, bar a couple, probably could have been a little bit bigger, and that actually put me up a couple of spots, so that put me up to 19th overall, so back inside the top 20. So hopefully we can hold inside the top 20 for the final week of the season.
Well done, Bales. Top 10, mate. First time. I know you were hunting that for, majority of this season, and you finally cracked in at the best time of the year. So congratulations, Jaiden.
And I'll be opening my pack as well towards the end, so make sure you guys stick around to see who I get.
Oh, yes. Make sure you definitely stick around for that. Cheeky pack opening. Love to see it. And Jaiden, how'd you go this week, mate?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy as well, actually. If you consider how I've been going the last few weeks, if you've been watching along, you know my frustration, but I'm pretty happy this week. 1842, 28th for the round, and I held my rank at 39th overall, so not too bad, and pretty consistent across the line, so pretty happy with that.
Yes, well in. Excellent result for you, mate. And for me this week, the Zeus Cannons, 1,937 points. That's a round rank of 23rd and a seasonal rank of 13th. I want a massive shout out to the Brisbane Lions and Sophie Conway. Cheers for keeping me up to date with your availability. And I played one down this week because the communication skills were on point, as some would say. So I'm a little bit salty if you can't tell. I'm really upset because this is not the time of the year to be making mistakes like this. I'm sure a lot of you would have seen in the men's game, we just dropped our all-star cards. And I'm going to have some little pop-ups on the screen. It'll probably be over here. You'll know why I'm upset. But anyway, I'm going to try to forget. It's a new week this week and a new opportunity to crack in the top 10.
I find it's the devil inside me just finds this hilarious. Last week, you didn't have her in your side after having her all season. She puts up a high score of the season. I think a career high score of 112 fantasy points. And then you put her back in, and then she's laid out. You should just name yourself Conway's Cannons because she's cannoned your season, mate.
And I was so close to playing, even after she had a career high score, I was so close to playing Frederick. Like, I can't tell you. I'm sitting there and I was going to sub her in, but I thought, no, Conway's coming off a career game. She's going to explode again. So let's move on. I don't want to think about that. I've got to face a lot of demons from last week. This is a new week.
They are playing the demons this week, actually. So she's back. She's playing the demons. So.
Oh, gosh, don't try to mess with my mind, Bales. I've made my decision. She's out of my team for this week. But let's look at the best of the best for this current round that just was. So as you can see here, fellas, some ripper scores this week, especially in the champion. But to win the classic, 2,165. And shouting out Hot Pies, fantastic score in the round, mate. Well done. And Dance Dynamo, so close to getting that first spot, only 9 points behind. And then in our champion comp, Fez Monkeys, 2,729 points, with Bauer Power second with 2,463. That is called domination, fellas. What do we think?
Oh, yeah, massive gap between first and second and champion. Like, we're talking about because like when you look at the Hot Pies and Fez Monkeys, there's a big gap, but between Hot Pies and Bauer Power, it's not actually a huge gap. So, yeah, but there's also a pretty similar, familiar name at 8th in the classic comp, as mentioned before. So, pretty happy.
Yeah, great stuff, Bales. I just want to know how 2,700 is possible. I'd love to see that team, maybe in the Discord if they send it in, but maybe they want to keep their secrets. We'll never know.
Yeah, I think I need to look at their team.
maybe a few legends in there potentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nah, it's sensational.
You never know. Yeah, absolutely, fellas. I totally agree. Fantastic to everyone this week in Game Day Squad. But let's move it on to our first player analysis segment. And just so you all know that on this show, we look at a player's performance based on fantasy. And from a fantasy perspective, let's rip into our Emojtrix. So what we do is we have 4 set emojis where we break down players' performance and link them to them. The first one being the performance which was lit for the round, or our fire emoji. And I'll start us off with Ellie Blackburn. 24 kicks, 9 marks, 157 fantasy points. That was tasty. Thank you very much.
Yep, yeah, she was very, very good. And also on the other side of that game for the Eagles, Emma Swanson, who I was a big fan of bringing her into your side this week. I actually played her silver card in my team, so she ended up scoring. I don't actually know exactly what her score was. I know it was 121 AFL fantasy points, but in terms of like the silver card that I played, she ended up putting up, I think it was about 150 points exactly. So yeah, very, very happy with her performance in the weekend.
Yeah, for my team, it was Ellie Blackburn as well. Have her in a gold card, 188 points. Thank you very much. She was by far my biggest scorer this week. But yeah, I'll just give a little shout out to Eilish Sheeran as well in defence. 102 base Game Day Squad points. I'm sure plenty of those teams on the leaderboard used her this week. So a little shout out to her as well.
Yeah, 100%. Sheeran was fantastic. We'll go to our next emoji that we do. It's a stock down emoji. This is a disappointing performance for the round that was, and mine's going to someone who I thought could never be categorized in this segment, and it's Chantel Emerson. She had her worst score of the season so far with 59 fantasy points, which I guess is like technically stock down for her standards, but I don't have concerns for Emerson moving forward, and she will be a part of my best 6 defenders for this upcoming round. So I'm not stressing too much on that front.
Yeah, I'm going to go another defender as well. I was thinking about going someone else, but they're more probably official relevant, not in the other formats. So I'm going to go with Emma O'Driscoll, who is relevant across every format, and unfortunately put up her probably a second poor score of the season. Only scored 54 Game Day Squad points because I had her as my D5 this week, and unfortunately wasn't quite the score I was after.
Yeah, we'll keep up the defence theme at the moment, and I'm going to go Tani Evans. And I think the key theme that people have spoken about this week is just her time on ground. She started off the first month of the season scoring 80s, 70s, and with like 95, 100% time on ground. Now that's down to just on 70%, and it was tough conditions against Gold Coast on Friday night, but yeah, her form has gone down a little bit from fantasy perspective, and I think that's probably from her time on ground.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Tom
agree.
actually. I mentioned that to you, Tom, on Sunday night, saying that it just don't understand. I really don't.
It honestly doesn't make sense in any of our minds, but unfortunately, it's the reality of the situation. So we're going to have to, tread carefully when it comes to starting Tani Evans this week. We're going to go to our exploding performance of the round, and I've got someone who's debuting for me in this segment, fellas. It's Beth Lynch, the defender for Richmond. And I have a feeling not too many coaches would have started Lynch in their squads this week, but she finished the round as the number 1 defender. 104 fantasy points at 26 years old. Well done, Beth Lynch, and welcome to your debut.
There we go. If we're not on mute. I was on mute. I was just with the wind and stuff. I didn't want it to come into the video. But my exploding forwards, I was actually going to go someone else, but I'll talk about them in the transfer market analysis coming up shortly. But my exploding forwards is Matilda Schultz. Her first career AFL fantasy ton, and she scored, I've got her silver card here, she scored 145 Game Day Squad points as silver, so about 130, 125, somewhere around there as a bronze. So, yeah, she's one of the best dynasty assets you can get. So if you can get your hands on Matilda Schultz in Game Day Squad, it's going to be a very good acquisition because she's obviously first season. She's very, very young, so she's going to be here for ages. And I was able to pick up a silver Matilda Schultz for $1.50 on the market. So thank you for whoever listed that up. I was very happy to take that off your hands.
Yeah, I also had Schultz written down. So I guess I'll I'll just shout out Mia King from North Melbourne. Played against Adelaide and Melbourne the last 2 weeks and turned up in both games, which is massive in an already stacked North Melbourne midfield. And this week she's coming up against the Dogs, so I can't see that form disappearing.
All 4 North Melbourne mids turned up, which was crazy. You had Riddell, Garner, Bruton, and Mia King all turning up, and then Marinoff going huge, and then even Anna Hatcher got 99. So it was points fest at Norwood over on the weekend.
It definitely was. And let's go to our last one. Buy now before their price goes through the roof, or our money bag emoji. And Bales is one step ahead of me in this one, but it's Matilda Schultz. And the reason is that I have her ranked as the number 1 ruck for this upcoming round. And, she was just fantastic. She's going to be a player that you want this round, but not only now, she's a great dynasty option. In her rookie season, she's just shown how dynamic she is and how dominant she can be on the field as well. So make sure you have a Schultz for now and for the future. You won't regret it. But, Bales has beaten a lot of us to that point. So good luck trying to beat him again.
Yeah, I'm one step ahead of the pack. This is a tough one. It's so hard at this time of year to try and look for a buy like low because there's only a week left and we sort of know what a lot of people's price are going to be. I guess one that is probably a buy low because probably not for this week, but for maybe in a few weeks or in the pre-season of next year is Laura Gardner potentially and the reason I say that is because she's going to be a mid next year. So people are going to go, midfielder Laura Gardner, she might not be there because I've got Marinoff, Bowers, Hatchard, Riddell, Garner, all these other players. But if she becomes a midfielder, she's going to be someone you're going to want still, I think, because she's shown how good she is and she's still so young. So I think I'll just go with her as a buy low in maybe a few months' time when people maybe haven't paid too much attention to how well she's gone. Because I think she's 3rd for points scored in official as a forward, only behind Marinoff and Garner. So, for me, I'd probably go with Laura Gardner.
Yeah, for me, it's more of just one for this week, and that's Neve Kelly from Adelaide. I'm pretty keen on this because they play against the West Coast Eagles. There's plenty of fantasy coaches out there trying to stack their teams with Adelaide players this week. They're a dominant team and they should beat West Coast pretty comfortably. The thing about Neve Kelly, she started the year really well, scoring pretty highly, and then she just kind of middled out a little bit for a forward, so she probably wasn't being played as much anymore through the middle of the year, but the last 3 games have been sensational. She came really well in a Bulldogs game, and then the last 2 games she's played Brisbane and North, and she's turned up in both of those as a forward. So if she can turn up against those opposition and with West Coast this week, I think you should play her.
She has to be in the All-Australian side for me. If she's not in the All-Australian side, it's ridiculous. The match win on the weekend, she's been amazing. She's probably been the best winger for me in the AFLW this season. She's taken her game to a new level.
Couldn't agree more. And, mate, I was all about her in round 1. I saw enough in that round to know that she was going to be a stud this year in fantasy. But we'll move it on. We're going to move it on to the bronze squad. My bronze squad. Let's go. Let's represent. How did we go this week? I'm about to let you all know. Firstly, the bronze squad finished with 2,227 points. So it would be enough to win the classic competition, but nowhere near enough to win the champion competition this week. We saw the champion scores just too much, but we got some debutantes this week. Beth Lynch, as I hinted at before, has joined the group. The midfield looks like the midfield you would set at the start of the year, other than maybe Blackburn. You've got Garner, Marinoff, Blackburn, Riddell, and Bowers. Such a strong mid group. Matilda Schultz coming back in to the bronze squad this week, 132 fantasy points, as we touched on before. She played fantastic. And the forwards, some of the names you expect to see at the top there. Bonnie Toogood, Laura Gardner, but Ella Roberts, Frederick, Naeem Kelly, and Zali Goldsworthy just sneaking in there at that 6th spot. I also want to shout out Gemma Houghton, who was tied with Zali for 106 fantasy points this round. So the bronze squad looking good. Heaps of the big name players in here. But yeah, I think it's another win for the Bronze squad. Not once this year has the classic competition taken out the Bronze squad, even with the multipliers. But I guess the challenge to myself this week is hopefully I can do it. Hopefully I can be the one to finally break this, because I want to crack into that top 10. And I do want to just quickly touch on one takeaway that I have from the Bronze squad. Just facing some technical difficulties. Sorry, everyone, but we're back. The Bronze squad is back. Apparently, I was boring Jaiden. Jaiden thought he was going to, just pop away. He didn't really care too much for the Bronze squad. Well, it's good to have you back, Jaiden. Welcome, man.
Thanks, yeah.
But I'll quickly finish off. I was quite close to. One of the takeaways that I have, and I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anyone, but there's one person this week who has the chance to have the perfect season. And that person is Laura Gardner. And I don't think you guys are probably already thinking that, but if she can do it this week, she can finish as one of the top 6 forwards in terms of scoring. She would have featured in the Bronze squad all 10 weeks of the fantasy season. So that is a feat that I'm sure maybe has been done before, but since Game Day squad started, hasn't. So she might be crowned as the queen of fantasy, as some would say. So I'm really hoping, of course, I'm a Swans fan, so I guess it's a double-edged sword for me, but I'm hoping she dominates this weekend, because I want to see us play finals, and I want to see Laura Gardner come out as the fantasy jet for the season.
Well, she's got a good matchup, so she's got a good chance to do that. So
absolutely. But that wraps us up. Bronze squad, thank you very much for tuning in. Represent. And Bales, I believe it is time for you to take over as the transfer market master, mate. Take it away.
yeah. I love how you say represent as well, by the way, once you finish the Bronze squad. But yeah, we'll get into the Bronze. I'm saying we'll get into the Bronze squad.
Now
no, we'll get into
yes.
transfer market analysis. So yeah, we're not going to do buy, hold, or sell this week, because I don't think there's too much point really with 1 week to go. I've probably just got 2 bits of advice. Two bits of advice, and then one of them is going to be me gloating. So I'll get that out of the way first. Me gloating. I said to everyone last week, buy Kiara Bowers. This is going to be the cheapest that you can get her. She's going to go big, I think, one of the final couple of weeks, and then you're not going to get her. And what happens? She comes out, smashes it, so now she's expensive again. Everyone just assumes she's back to where she is. I had a silver Bowers, so I was in a good position. I didn't have to buy one, but hopefully you guys listened and was able to buy one at a cheap price. But then sort of just the one piece of advice really that I've got is it's just, once the season's over, look at players that are going to potentially change position, because they're going to be the players you might be able to get a bargain for. So players like Laura Gardner are going to be not a forward anymore. They're going to be a midfielder. So people might list them up a bit cheaper than what they should be. You're going to get players like, well, I would have said Hannah Priest 4 weeks ago, but we're not going to talk about Hannah Priest, unfortunately. Then you got even Sabrina Frederick is a forward. She's going to become a ruck next year. So again, she could be one of those sort of top 3 or 4 rucks. So getting her at a cheap price. I'm just going through them off the top of my
Chloe Malloy, mate, from the Swans.
Chloe Malloy will be a forward, so she's going to be cheap now. So if there's one that you buy this week, it's Chloe Malloy, because she'll be a forward. Chelsea Randall may become. She hasn't played much midfield, so she'd be a defender or a forward depending on how everything goes. But you'd think Chelsea Randall could be in the mix for one of those positions there. So she's another one. Nina Morrison will probably still hold mid, so she wouldn't be one I'd be targeting. But just have a look at that and probably do your own research and stuff. But look at who's going to lose their position and change position, and then look at getting them into your side as well. And then maybe some players that have been injured this year that maybe have got a good predictor. So, for example, Ruby Slisher, unfortunately, obviously didn't do her ACL, but she did her, I think, is it MCL or PCL or something? Whatever. So she'll be back next year, and she should be a defender because she played both games as a defender. So she'll be one that you're going to, oh no, she's already a defender in Game Day squad. Disregard that. But then again, she can still be cheap, so still buy her. Because she'll be cheap. But yeah, that's pretty much the transfer market analysis. But appreciate everyone that's listened to my dribble every week about transfer market. So
thank you, Bales. It is time. It is time for Jaiden, mate. It's time for you to cook, as some would say. Get the little cookout. It's time for our pop-out picks, Jaiden, mate. I'll just let you take it away this week. It's the last week, so it's your last week to bless everyone with some advice. Where are we going?
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, and this could be the week that you need them the most, Tom. Sitting 13th, you might just need that little bit of a bump. So I'm pretty keen to see how they go this week. Obviously, maybe you wouldn't have had Sophie Conway in your team last week if I didn't mention her, but that's out of my control. So I'm going to start off in I'm going to start off in defence like usual. And there's only 1 week left, so we're just looking at this week, what they can do. The best matchup this week is Carlton for defenders. So for me, it's Gab Pound. She's kind of in and around that top 6 this year, but the last few weeks have been a little bit lower, so I think a lot of coaches have probably switched her out for somebody else. Carlton did have a little bit of a tough run through the middle, and yeah, I think this week she'll be very good. And the reasoning is that she's the number 1 kick-in player at Carlton. She took 5 last week, which was an extra 20 points right there, but that was a lot of her points. She didn't get many points in other ways, but I think she can do that this week against the best matchup going around. And in the midfield, I'm going to go to Amy McDonald. Now, Georgie Prasparkas gets all the attention in the midfield, so potentially this could be the player of difference in your midfield that you need this week. She's got the second best matchup this week and against Hawthorn. So I think she could potentially push that top 5 mids this week. There will be a lot of options in the midfield, with Adelaide playing West Coast and North playing against the West Bulldogs. So you're probably going to be playing Marinoff and Hatchard, Garner and Riddell as a must, but maybe you just need that 5th one there, and I think Amy McDonald could go pretty well. And in the forward line, I just mentioned that matchup, but North are playing Western Bulldogs. Best matchup by far for forwards. So I've played her in my team all year, and it's Emma King from North Melbourne. She's been going okay. Had a down week last week, but I'm pretty sure she can bounce back against Western Bulldogs, and she's also taken a little bit of the ruck duties so that's a few bonus points where necessary. So I think North Melbourne forwards could cash in this week in general, and Emma King's my favourite one of those. So yeah, those are the last 3 pop-out picks for the year, and I really hope that you've got some value out of it, because you know, we all know the guns of the competition. We might not know the lesser-known players, and those are the ones that can catapult you into the top 10 winning prizes here in GameDay Squad.
Couldn't agree with you more, mate. Well in. That's 3 spicy matchups, as you mentioned, and it's going to be interesting to see if people are going to lean towards these players you've hinted at, maybe a couple of pods, because it's now or never. If you want to get in that top 10, potentially, get those rewards, you got to make a move now. So it'll be interesting to see. But thank you, Jaiden, on a fantastic year of pop-out picks. We'll see what happens in the near future with that. But you killed it this year, mate. Well in. But we're nearly done, but not yet. I have one more segment for you boys, and this is going to be a special one this week. We've been calling this the pack battles for the year. And what we've done is you two have voted on which pack you thought was better. And then after, if I've needed to, I'd hop in and vote. But that hasn't really been the case this year. You guys have been in agreement with everything. But I'm overruling for this round. And there's a really, really good reason why. And I'm about to show you. So brace yourselves. Get ready for this. But let's flick it over right now. Can you see what I see?
Yeah. As a Crows man myself, it pains me that card has now been packed. But kudos goes to you, mate, for packing a legend, Ebony Marinoff. Like, it's, for me, I was saying to the boys actually just before we started recording that for me it's the best card in the game. I don't think there's a better card for mine. I know that you could maybe say Kiara Bauer's legend maybe, but Marinoff's younger. She's shown this year her scoring pedigree. She's right up there as one of the best couple of scorers, and Yeah, so for me, that's the best card you can get. So you've got a leg up on everyone else in the champion comp, mate. So congrats. And I'm a very jealous person, being a Crows fan, and Noffy being my favourite player. So congrats, mate. Enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Like, yeah, there's no more valuable card in the comp. And yeah, like Bale said, she's only 25 years old, so you're going to get good use out of that card for many more years. And yeah, it's just been awesome to see her career develop from the very beginning of the AFLW, obviously the inaugural Rising Star, and there's a very good reason for that. She's the best fantasy player going around.
And she's also so durable as well. Like, I don't know if she's missed many games. I don't actually know if she's missed a game. I'm not actually sure. But her, Ali Anderson, Emily Bates were the first 3 players to play 75 games in the comp. So Noffy could actually potentially, she'll be the sort of record holder for a while, maybe the most games played potentially. We'll have to see. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you all on that. Like, just such a fantastic pool. And yeah, as you mentioned, the age dilemma, she's going to be just fantastic for years to come. She's already one of the best. She's going to continue to be the best. So well done, Blockchain. That's just MD on our Discord. I can't believe you've pulled that card. Like, that is just unreal. Maybe the only other card I would say that I'd personally want is Zali Goldsworthy, but like Marinoff in your midfield, 1.5 multiplier every week just seems absurd. That's just like 5 legs up on every player at the start of every round.
Well, it's like if for those coaches that play official and Mirror's Magic fantasy as well, it's like having Marinoff captained, but in game day squad every week. But it's like no one else has got a captain essentially in a way. Like everyone else is going to have just a maybe. There's not many Marinoff diamonds out there, I don't think. There's a few platinums floating around, but a lot of people have got maybe a gold or lower. So having a legend Marinoff is going to give you that a significant edge if you can build a solid team around her as well. So,
but fellas, it's been such a good season. I'm glad that I was able to bring us all together on the Game Day Squad channel and, break down our women's Aussie rules game every single week, providing everyone with fantasy advice. And it feels a little bittersweet that this will be at least the last official episode for the year 9.
Really?
I think that makes it. We did miss one I think here and there, but
are we gonna do one? Are we gonna do one next week, like a season recap? Like we do Emojtrix for like a season of Emojtrix, like.
We'll do some of that, but it's not going to be like there won't be a week coming up after. There won't be the energy for like. And the leaderboard, like just all of that stuff that we love about the game, unfortunately, we'll be missing a little bit. But so, as I mentioned, it's a bit bittersweet. But I'm glad that we've ripped in this season. It's been a bloody good one. But Jaiden, mate, thank you so much for all the time you've put in. Just want to let the viewers know where everyone can find you and all that beautiful work you do week to week, brother.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, it's been an epic season, and hopefully the viewers have got some great picks out of our discussions this season. And yeah, best place.
Jade, don't sugarcoat it, mate. Out of your pop-out picks, mate, that's what the people want to hear, mate.
So yeah, well, I had to come up with a segment that I can use myself. So I don't have all the best cards, but yeah, I need those ones that could just pop out for 1 week and then you put them back in the reserves. So yeah, it's been awesome to come up with something a little bit different, and hasn't always worked, but I think most of the time it has. So yeah, it's helped my team out and hopefully you guys as well. The best place to find me on Twitter /X at Jaiden_Poposky. Yeah, that's where all my footy related content goes. And yeah, obviously the season's finished now, so yeah, probably going to be doing a lot of work behind the scenes ready for next year. But yeah, maybe some of the findings from a bit of research while I have some time will be popping up there.
Thank you, Jaiden, again, mate. So awesome to get you on. And what I've heard is that if you leave a like on this video, you're going to get pack luck like Blockchain MD and potentially pull a legend in Game Day Squad. So make sure you all smash a like on the video. But Bales, mate, thank you so much again for coming on this whole season, all the time you've put in, everything. I've had a bloody blast with you. But where can all the viewers find you and all the great things you do, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Tom and Jaiden. It's been a pleasure doing this every recording Tuesday night, and obviously going out on Wednesday for everyone to watch. You can find me at BuzzDT on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at TrulyBuzzHD on YouTube. Obviously, me and Tom be back for our final Twitter space on Sunday night, recapping Rd.9 and then the season, which be fantastic. So it's been a great season across all the formats. I think that, again, last year we saw such a growth with the AFLW, but then this season's just gone again to another level. It's just going to keep getting bigger. Hopefully there's going to be more games and longer seasons, so we got more weeks to chat fantasy. But it'll be like a month and a couple of months, and then me and Tim at Fantasy Fanatics will be getting ready for the men's season. So we're obviously gearing up for that. But no, it's been a pleasure every Tuesday night, and then every Sunday night with you, Tom and Jaiden. So appreciate it, and hopefully you guys are off with a bang.
Thank you very much, mate. And make sure you go follow my boys. They put in so much good work for the fantasy community. They're just growing, they're just giving such elite advice. And you're going to want that. If you want to finish in the top 10 and get some rewards, you're going to want to be following them and listening to what they have to say. But where you can find me on Twitter is at TommyGDS. I'm currently running a competition. It'll be the last competition for the season, which is sad. But I gave away a gold Bree Davey last week because all you have to do is guess what my fantasy team is going to score in the week within a plus-minus 10 range. So last week, we had someone nail it, get a Bree Davey gold on the house. This week, I don't have a gold or a good variant, but I thought I'm going to give away a top-tier card. I'm going to give away a bronze Ash Riddell. So it's free to enter. All you need to do is guess a score under the post that I'll make, and that'll come out either on Thursday or Friday. So make sure you follow me and you're ready to tune into that to potentially get a free Riddell. But fellas, thank you so much for the season. That'll be your boys signing off. Until next time. See you, everybody.
See ya.